Mornings are usually predictable. The world wakes up in a familiar rhythm, the city slowly coming to life as the sun rises. There's a comfort in the repetition, a sense that today will unfold just like yesterday. You wake up, grab your coffee, maybe turn on the Today Show. The aroma of fresh coffee fills the kitchen, and the familiar jingle of the show plays in the background, signaling the start of another ordinary day. The hosts, Savannah Guthrie, Jenna Bush Hager, Dreyer, Melvin and Carson Daly, feel like friends you start your day with. Their laughter, their banter, their easy camaraderie set the tone for millions of viewers across the country. It's a routine, a well-oiled machine. The news, the weather, the lighthearted stories. Each segment flows into the next, creating a sense of order in a sometimes chaotic world. Everyone knows what's coming next, or so they think. The teleprompter scrolls, the hosts exchange knowing glances, and the audience settles in for another predictable morning. But sometimes, something happens that throws the script out the window. The unexpected can burst in, uninvited, and suddenly the ordinary becomes extraordinary. On October 17, 2025, the Today Show team was ready for their usual segments. The crew was in place, the lights were set, and the hosts were preparing for another seamless broadcast. Savannah had a flight to catch later, her day planned out. She was already thinking ahead, mentally checking off her to-do list as the show unfolded. But a major Hollywood star had a different idea. While the hosts were focused on their routines, someone backstage was plotting a surprise that would upend everything. Gere was scheduled for a later interview about a project with the Dalai Lama. The plan was simple. He'd arrive, chat about his work, and leave. But Gere, ever the wild card, decided to shake things up. He's known for his charm, but also for his unpredictability. And today, he was feeling especially spontaneous. Picture this. The hosts are in their groove, the audience is relaxed, and everything is running smoothly. The studio hums with the quiet confidence of a team that's done this 1,000 times before. No one expects a movie star to just wander onto the set mid-segment. It's the kind of thing you only see in movies, or on the rarest of mornings. But that's exactly what's about to happen. Gere, with his signature grin, is about to make an entrance no one will forget. These are the moments that make live TV unforgettable. The unscripted, the unplanned, the pure adrenaline of not knowing what comes next. The unscripted, the unexpected, the utterly human. It's in these moments that the magic of live television truly shines. Gere's early arrival was about to turn a typical morning into something extraordinary. The hosts, caught off guard, would have to improvise, and that's when the real fun begins. The hosts had their notes, the teleprompters were ready, but none of that mattered now. Suddenly, the script was useless, and everyone was flying by the seat of their pants. The plan was simple, until it wasn't. The crew scrambled, the producers whispered frantically, and the energy in the studio shifted in an instant. Gere's charm, his smile, his confidence. Suddenly he was there, and everything changed. The hosts couldn't help but be swept up in the excitement. The energy shifted from routine to electric. The audience, sensing something special, leaned in, eager to see what would happen next. No one was prepared for the delightful chaos that was about to unfold. Laughter echoed through the studio, and the line between host and guest blurred in the best possible way. It's these moments that remind us why live television is so special. Anything can happen, and sometimes the best stories are the ones you never planned for. The best mornings are the ones you never see coming. The ones that start out ordinary, but end up unforgettable. And this one was about to become legendary. A morning that would be talked about for years to come. All thanks to a very early, very charming Gere, who turned a routine morning into a moment of pure, unforgettable television magic. The Pop Start segment is all about the latest in pop culture. Fun, light, and full of laughs. Every morning, viewers tune in expecting a dose of celebrity news, quirky stories, and the kind of banter that makes you feel like you're right there on the couch with the hosts. Carson Daly was leading the chat, everyone chiming in, the usual banter flowing. The chemistry between the hosts was as lively as ever, with playful teasing and quick-witted jokes bouncing around the set. Suddenly, from the side of the set, Gere appeared. It was the kind of entrance that instantly changes the mood in the room. No big announcement, no music, just Gere, strolling in with that famous smile. He looked completely at ease, as if he'd just wandered in from a stroll outside. The hosts froze, their faces a mix of shock and delight. For a split second, It was as if time stood still on live television. Carson Daly did a double take, Dylan and Craig burst out laughing and Jenna's eyes went wide. The spontaneity of the moment was written all over their faces. It was a genuine, unscripted moment of surprise. You could tell that not a single person on set had been tipped off. Gere waved, cool as ever, and made his way to the couch, an hour before his scheduled time. He seemed to relish the unexpectedness of it all, soaking in the host's reactions. The Pop Start segment about celebrity news suddenly had a real celebrity in the middle of it. The script was tossed aside, and the show took on a life of its own. Imagine being mid-sentence about a pop star's new album, and Richard Gere is suddenly beside you. It's the kind of thing you dream about as a host, but never expect to actually happen. The energy in the room shifted instantly. You could feel the excitement ripple through the studio, as if everyone had just realized they were witnessing TV gold. Laughter erupted, the audience at home leaned in, and the show transformed. Suddenly, everyone was glued to their screens, not wanting to miss a second. This was no longer just Pop Start, it was the Richard Gere show. All eyes were on him, and the hosts were more than happy to let him steal the spotlight. The host tried to regain composure, but the excitement was contagious. Even the crew behind the cameras couldn't help but smile at the unexpected turn of events. Gere's presence turned a routine segment into a must-see moment. It was the kind of surprise that makes live TV so thrilling. The crew behind the scenes scrambled, but the magic was undeniable. Producers whispered in headsets, camera operators adjusted their shots, and everyone worked to capture the spontaneity. The best part? None of it was planned. It was pure, unscripted television at its finest, a reminder of why people love live TV. The hosts embraced the chaos, and the audience loved every second. The unpredictability made it all the more entertaining. It was a reminder that the best TV moments are the ones you can't script. These are the moments that get replayed, shared, and talked about for days. The segment became an instant classic. It was the kind of TV magic that only happens once in a while, and everyone was here for it. The applause, the laughter, the buzz, it all added up to a morning no one would forget. Sometimes, the biggest surprises make for the best television. It's those unscripted, unexpected moments that remind us why we tune in. And this was one of those mornings, a perfect blend of surprise, laughter, and a little bit of Hollywood magic. Savannah Guthrie is the very definition of professional, always poised, always in control, and always ready for whatever live television throws her way. But that all changed the moment Richard Gere sat down next to her on the set. Suddenly, her famously cool composure melted away, replaced by a bright, genuine blush that lit up her entire face. She couldn't help but laugh, fanning herself in a playful attempt to regain her composure, as the studio lights seemed to get a little hotter. And honestly, who wouldn't be a little flustered with Richard Gere sitting just an arm's length away, flashing that famous smile? Her co-hosts couldn't resist teasing her. And Savannah, ever the good sport, joked right back, "I think I'm sweating." The moment was pure, relatable, and utterly charming. One of those rare times when a TV anchor's guard drops and we see their true personality shine through. Gere leaned in, playful and charismatic, making Savannah even more adorably flustered as the audience watched with delight. She tried to steer the conversation back to the segment, but kept sneaking glances at him, shaking her head in disbelief at her own reaction. It was a moment of pure, unscripted joy, live TV at its absolute best, where anything can happen and everyone is in on the fun. Even the most seasoned anchor can get starstruck, and Savannah's reaction was a reminder that celebrities can have that effect on anyone. Her candid response set the tone for the rest of the show. Fun, spontaneous, and refreshingly real, making everyone feel like they were part of the moment. Her laughter was infectious, her blush completely endearing, and her energy lit up the entire studio. The audience got to see a different side of Savannah, giddy, human, and so easy to relate to, reminding us that even TV stars have their fan moments. It was the kind of genuine, unscripted moment you simply can't fake, no matter how experienced you are. And it made that morning on the Today Show truly unforgettable for everyone watching. Once the shock wore off, the teasing began. Savannah was the main target. Richard Gere, grinning, called out Savannah for planning to leave early for her flight. The hosts piled on, joking, "Got somewhere more important than Richard Gere?" Savannah, still blushing, tried to defend herself, but no one let her off the hook. Gere played mock offended, hand to his heart. "You were going to leave me?" The dynamic flipped. Gere was in control, the hosts along for the ride. It felt like a family gathering, full of warmth and laughter. Savannah joked maybe her flight could wait. The playful banter showed the team's chemistry, and how easily Gere fit in. It wasn't an interview anymore, it was friends having fun. The fact that one was a movie star just made it better. The whole studio was in on the joke. Amid the laughter, Jenna finally asked, "Why was Richard Gere there so early?" Gere's answer was simple. He heard the show was live, heard Savannah's voice, and just wanted to join in. No mix-up, no publicity stunt, just a spontaneous decision. Savannah blushed again, the hosts laughed, and the audience melted. Gere's reason was all about connection, not promotion. It showed the inviting energy of the Today Show. Sometimes the best moments happen when you just follow a feeling. Gere's early arrival was pure, unscripted joy, and everyone was glad he did. Savannah really did have a flight to catch, but how do you leave when Richard Gere is on the couch? The producers recognized TV gold and let the moment breathe. Savannah announced she was pushing back her departure. Cheers erupted, Gere grinned, and spontaneity won the day. The conversation flowed, the pressure of the clock gone. More banter, more stories, more chemistry. A small change in plans made a huge difference. Live TV's beauty is in its unpredictability. Sometimes, the best plan is to have no plan at all. Savannah's choice to stay made the morning even more special. The joy lasted a little longer for everyone watching, and the magic of the moment was undeniable. With Savannah's flight delayed, the couch turned into a party. Richard Gere was no longer just a guest, he was part of the team. He chimed in on topics, shared stories, and laughed with everyone. The dynamic was effortless, the fun contagious. The segment stretched on, filled with genuine laughter. Gere talked about his project with the Dalai Lama, but it felt natural, not forced. The hosts embraced the chaos, and the audience loved it. For a few minutes, it wasn't a news show. It was friends sharing a laugh. The joy was palpable. Laughter filled the studio and homes everywhere. It was the perfect way to start the day. That morning was a perfect example of live TV magic. Scripts and schedules went out the window, replaced by real, unscripted connection. Richard Gere's surprise reminded us why we love live moments. The hosts' reactions were authentic, the laughter real. The crew adapted instantly, capturing the magic. These are the moments people remember and share. The Today Show team proved they're masters at embracing the unexpected. It wasn't a mistake, it was a gift. The best memories are the ones you don't see coming. And that's why Live TV will always have a special place in our hearts. In the end, Richard Gere's surprise gave us more than a story. It gave us joy. A routine morning became unforgettable, all because of one spontaneous decision. The hosts, especially Savannah, showed us the power of embracing the unexpected. Gere's visit was about connection, not promotion. The laughter and warmth were real, the moment shared by everyone watching. Sometimes the best way to start the day is with a little chaos and a lot of laughter. The Today Show proved that the unscripted moments are the ones that matter most, and who couldn't use a little extra joy in their morning?